Hello developers, you are highly welcome to my channel and also welcome to today's tutorial. We are going to be building a developer portfolio website using just HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Guys, you're going to enjoy today's tutorial. This is a step-by-step tutorial and you don't need to be a professional in order to follow along in today's tutorial. All you just need to know is the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you are good to go. This tutorial is very simple and easy to follow. And by you following this tutorial, you will learn a lot of new ways of doing things that enhances your creativity. Let's now take a look at the application we're about to build. As you can see, it has cool animation effects. And this is very nice, guys. We're going to be learning how to create this. Look at the unscrew animation. We're going to be learning how to do this using GSAP. Look at it. As we scroll, it animates. All the boxes come out with smooth transition effect. And that is cool. Look at the hover effect. Look at the project section. And look at the uh, testimonial section and the contact section. Everything comes out with smooth transition effect as we scroll, and that is cool. Look at the inputs. Awesome. So we're going to be learning how to do this. We're also going to be making sure that when we click on this, each of these, it will scroll to this section that correspond to the tab, and also the tab will also be activated, and that is, makes sense. Look at the contact, and also this is light and dark mode, and even when we refresh the dark mode, it will still be dark mode. And we're also going to be learning how to prevent color flashing when refreshing the page. Color flashing is when we refresh and it first shows white color before it shows the dark color. It is also responsive. It is very responsive. Okay, so we'll be preventing color flashing. When you refresh on dark theme, it will be dark theme that it will use to refresh. If you refresh on light theme, it will use light theme to refresh. So we're going to be taking a look at that. So without wasting much time, guys, let's get started. And guys, this is going to be fun. If you are watching this video up till now and you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe for more tutorials, and also make sure you comment on the comment section and go ahead and like this video. Also share the video to your loved ones. Guys, the best way to say thank you to me is by helping me to grow on YouTube right now. And the way you can help me to grow on YouTube is by subscribing to my channel, and make sure you like this video and write your comment and also share the video. At least do one of them if you cannot do all of them. Guys, help me grow on YouTube by subscribing. So go ahead right now and subscribe. And without wasting much time, let's go and start coding. Let's get started by creating a new project. So I'll come over to this file explorer icon and click, and here on open folder, I will click on this, and this dialog will pop up. Let me navigate to desktop, and here I'm going to click on new folder. Now let's call this folder Wheel Designer Portfolio, and let's hit on create, and let's hit on open to open it as a root folder. So as you can see, it is open as a root folder right now. Now let me hit on this file icon to create a new file. I'm going to call the file index.html, and I'm going to write the structure of HTML within here. So just type this and boom, look at it. We have the structure of HTML written here right now. So I'll change the title to my, let's call it my portfolio. Awesome. Now, the next file we're going to create is, let's call it main.js. And let's come back to index.html and let's link to the main.js right here using the script tag. Awesome. Now, let's create a folder by clicking on this folder icon. Let's call the folder CSS. So here we're going to be creating our CSS file. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to create, let's create another folder. Let's call it assets. So within this asset folder, we're going to be placing all the images and icons we're going to be making use of. Some of the icons we're going to be making use of in this project. So I have leave a link on the description section of this video to the images, all the images we're going to be making use of in this project. So go ahead, click on that link to download the images. The icons is in that folder when you download it. I do have those things right in my computer, so I'm not going to download them because I already have them in my computer. And look at them here. So what I will do is I'll go ahead and highlight all of them and let me copy them. And I created my projects in desktop. So look at the project I created here and look at the asset folder that we just created. And let's paste them here. Look at them. Now let's go back to our code. So if I open this now, you see, look at the images we're going to be using in this project. Also, we have some SVG icons right here. So when the time comes to use all of this, we'll start using them one after the other. Awesome. So the next thing we're going to do now, let's start coding. The first thing I'm going to create is navbar. Let's say navbar start and navbar end. Awesome. So let's keep on going. So let's use the nav and let's give it an ID of navbar. Also, I'm going to still give it a class name. Let's call it flex underscore underscore center. All right. And let's create a flex and let's give it another class name. Let's say nav routes. Okay. So within here, we're going to create the H1. So the first H1, I'm going to just use header. So this header I'm using here is where I want you to scroll to, the section I want you to scroll to when this particular one is being clicked. So it will scroll to the header section. Okay, so I'm going to give it home and let's give it some class name. So I'm going to say route. Let's duplicate and make changes. So for the second one, so while duplicating, all you just need to do is place your cursor on the line you want to duplicate, hold on Shift and hold on Alt together and click on arrow down or arrow up to duplicate it either towards the top part or the bottom part. So you see it, I'm holding that and it's duplicating. All right, so for the second one, let's see about, let's change this. Okay, and let's say services, and let's change this to services, and let's say projects. Let's change this to projects, and this, let's see testimonial, and let's go ahead and let's change the last one. This is the last one. Let's say contact, and let's write contact here. And over here, let's add active to the first one. We'll see the reason why this active is added, but before then, let's continue. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the next container. Let's give it a class of flex center, and I'm going to create a label here. So within this label, first of all, let's give it some class name. This is where we're going to create our theme table. Let's give it a class name of theme table, and within this, I'm going to create an input. I'm going to give it a type of checkbox, and the next thing I'm going to give to it is the it's an ID of let's say theme checkbox. Awesome. And after that, I'm going to create an icon container. So within this icon container, we are going to be adding the sun and the moon icon. The moon icon will be for the dark mode, while the sun icon will be for the light mode. So we're going to be using icon in this project, and the name of the icon we're going to be using is called Lucid. The Lucid icon, that's what we're going to be using. So let's come to the browser here, and let's go to lucid.dev. Sorry. Okay, lucid.dev. So here, let's click on packages, and we want to use it in our JavaScript project. Let's click on Gates guide, and we are going to copy one of this link to our project. So let me just use this development link. Anyone you use will work perfectly fine, but I would advise if you are pushing your code to production, use the second one. All right. So I'm going to add the link to the icon right here. I'm going to call that, let's see, we can even add it, let's add it below here. Okay. And this is it. Awesome. So it's telling us that any icon we want to make use of, we need to use this tag and give it data lucid and give it the name of the icon we want to use. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to come over here, and we're going to use and we're going to say data lucid. Okay, so let's come and search for the icon we're going to be using. Click on icon, and here we can search for, let's say, sun, and look at it here, sun. Click on this, and if you hover over this, you will be able to copy it. This is the name of the icon, and it's copied. So I'll just come over here, paste it, let's say uh sun, and that is cool. Now before we even start previewing, let me just duplicate. So we set for moon, and here is it. The name is moon. Okay. So what I'm going to do, look at it. Here is the name. We just copy it and paste it here, and that is awesome. So we are going to be styling this in a short while, but for now, let's complete this. Let's create other thing here. So I'm going to create another container. Let's call it icon container, and also let's give it menu btn, and also let's give it an ID of also menu btn. Okay, all this we're going to be making use of it later on. All right, so here I'm going to create a data Lucid icon. So I'm going to just say menu. All right, if you come over to the icon section and you search for menu, you will see it. So let's say menu. So look at it here. Just click on it and copy it. All right, so this is the menu icon. Awesome. So in order for we to be able to view this on the browser, go ahead and install this extension. There's an extension we're going to be using to view it. It's called Live Preview. So make sure you search for this extension on the extension section and install it into your VS Code. Live Preview is a VS Code extension that helps you to view your HTML page on the browser, right? And as you begin to add code to your project, as it gets saved, it will refresh automatically. So uh, immediately you install Live Preview, you are going to, whenever you open a HTML document, you're going to see this icon right here. You see, when I go to JS document, the icon will disappear. So the icon will only show when I'm in HTML document because it is only used to preview HTML documents, right? So when I click on this, you see it shows me the page and it gives me this link. So which means I can copy this link and place it on a external browser, maybe Firefox browser or Chrome browser, whatever browser it is. As far as it is on the same computer, it will view there. So I'll copy this and come to this browser. This is Firefox browser. I'll paste it and click enter. It showed me the same thing. So the reason why I'm placing it here is because I want more space over here so that we can be able to write our code. We cannot have the live preview within here and at the same time be writing the code. So I'll close this live preview here, this one here, and we'll be using the one on the browser. So each time I make changes, for example, let's add something here. You see, each time changes occur here, it will automatically refresh, and that is cool. That is awesome. So let's come back to this. So um, let's go ahead and write some CSS code for this. So what I will do right now is let's refresh this first. Let's check if this icon, okay, so you see the icon is not yet working, it's not yet added. That is because there is something I'm omitting here. So let's come to packages again. Let's go to guide, and right here you see we need to initialize Lucid icon in our project. So I'll copy this code and let's come back to our code. See, I've already linked to main.js. So let me open main.js. So it means I can write my JS code here and it will, get functioning. So I'm going to comment. Okay, so I'm going to say just paste it, and that is all. So now let's come back to you see, look at the preview. We have the icon right now. We have the sun, the moon, and the menu. And that is awesome, guys. That is awesome. So the next step we're going to follow now is to write some CSS code for this. All right. Although we're not done with the mockup, but let's write some CSS code. So first, I'm going to come here. Let's create the first CSS file, which is index.css. So within this index.css, we're going to be writing the general styles. General styles means the styles we're going to be using in different places, in many places as we code. Instead of repeating those styles each time we want to make use of it, we will write them in this index.css file and reuse them everywhere. All right, so before we get started, let's come to this asset folder. When you download this the assets file, you're going to find this content.md file within it, and here it contains the contents we're going to be using in the different sections of this project, like the text, and also it contains the CSS variables we're going to be making use of. So I need to come down here. So look at the CSS variables we're going to be making use of in this project. So I'm going to copy the CSS variables and come back to here and let's paste it. Awesome. So this is the CSS variables we're going to be making use of for this project. You see all the colors, the shadows, the radius has already been defined here. All we just need to do is to be making use of them. The gradients, is already defined here. The primary color and all of that. So these are the one we're going to be making use of in dark mode. So if you take a look at these variables here, the keys, the variable names are the same with some of the variable names here. What happened is that, for example, here by default, this background base is some kind of white background, but when it comes here, it changes to dark background because this is dark mode. So we will be switching this when we get to where we create the dark mode using this guy, this button. So let's make sure uh, everything is in order. So before we continue writing the general styles, let's first of all add the font we're going to be making use of. So we're going to be making use of Google fonts. So let's go to font.google.com, and here is we're going to search for a font called Sora. Look at it here, and this is it. So let's click on Get Font. All right, so look at it here, and let's click on Get Embed Code and look at it. Make sure it's on web, guys. So as it is on web, we are going to go ahead and click here to copy it. Okay, so now that we've copied it, the link, let's come to here and let's paste it right here. All right, let me comment first. Let's see, Google font. Okay, awesome. So let's paste it there, and also let's see first time style. So I'm going to use link, and let's link to uh, the index of CSS here. Awesome. So let's come back to the preview. As you can see, let's refresh. Nothing changed. The font doesn't change yet. So let's come back here and write the general styles. General styles. So let's start by using the universal selector. Universal selector means it will select every element on this web page. So it's going to select everything. So we're going to make sure that every element will have a margin of 0 by default and also a padding of 0 by default. Now, let's see, every element also must have a border of none by default and outline of none by default. And also, let's see, text decoration, none, box sizing, let's see, border box. And next, let's see HTML, and then the body. We're going to give it a minimum height of 100 ph. And now let's see font family. Let's add the Sora that we just added. That is the Google fonts. If you take a look at it, we got the Sora here. And if you take a look at this text, you see that the font has changed to this font. Awesome. So let me close this for now. So let's go ahead and give it a background. Let's use text color. Also, let's go ahead and scroll behavior, which is smooth, and let's give it a scroll bar color. So we're going to say color primary here, and let's say transparent. And let's change the width of the scroll bar. Let's change scroll bar width. Let's say 10. Next, let's give it the body. So for the body, let's give it a minimum. Okay. There's no need for even the minimum height that it's got to be really at the top. So let's give it overflow hidden and overflow y. Okay. And let's give it the math word and imagine. Okay. Let's say image and let's say words and let's give it a minimum height of 100%. And let's give it an object fit of color. So this will make the image not to shrink. And also let's display it in block. Next, let's see anchor tag. So for the anchor tag, let's display it to the inline block. And also let's change the color to color text or text color here. Next, let's start the paragraph. So for every paragraph, I want every paragraph to have a font size of 15 pixels and a line height of let's say 25 pixels. Next, I'm going to create some backgrounds, some classes that we're going to be making use of. So let's say, for example, the BG base. Right? Let me use let's go. Okay. So let's see the background should be here. Let's specify the background color. Let's see the base. Now, next, click on this. Next, let's see, let's see, uh, column interior. And the next, let's create, let's say text, let's underscore white, and let's say color white. Next, let's create the primary class. So for the primary class, I'm going to give it the color of color primary. Now let's create container. So for the container, every container will have a weight of 100%, but then let's specify a max weight for the container of, let's say, 1,200 pixels. And let's give it a margin of auto so that it will be aligned at the center. And let's give it a padding. Let's say the padding top should be 50 pixels. Padding right should be 20 pixels. Padding bottom should be 120 pixels. And padding left should be 20 pixels. Awesome. And also, let's specify that when it overflows, it should be hidden. Sorry, overflow should be hidden. Next, let's create this flex class. You see, while I was creating this navbar, I have used flex center and flex. So now let's create the code that makes it a function. So let's say display flex that is all for this, and I'm going to say flex center. So I'm going to display the flex and align the item to center, and let's specify the content to center, and let's say gap 20, and that is cool. So let's also create a class called session header. And for this session header, let's give it a text align at center, and let's give it a max width of 600 pixels at a time, and let's give it a margin of purple so that it will always be at the center. Awesome. So let's say session header. Within session header, we're going to be having a description. Okay. So we'll have a description within session header, and let's give it a font size of 16 pixels and a margin top of 10 pixels. Awesome. So the next thing we are going to do is let's give it a profile, let's give it a width of 3 and a height of 3. Now, in order to prevent shrinking, let's do this. Let's duplicate this 2 times. And let's see main width, minimum height, maximum width, and maximum height. This will maintain the height and the width to be 3, no matter what happens, it will not shrink. So let's say overflow hidden, and let's give it a border radius of var. Let's say radius 3. Okay, or let's make it radius 5. We want it to be completely round, and radius 5 is having a value of let's take a look at it. It's having a value of 100%. All right, so it will be completely a cycle. Awesome. So next, let's create another section. So, but for this section, let me just come over here and let's see, let's add this. Since they are having the same style, let's say icon container. So I want to have the same width and height. So let's select the icon container here and let's display it to the left, and let's sorry, align the items to the center, also justify the content to the center, and let's give it some border radius. Okay, the border radius is already set here, so it's the same thing. So let's just give it something like uh, let's come here, let's give it something like cursor pointer, and right here we are going to, let's say, come over here again. Let's come over here and let's say transition. Let's say draw time transition. Awesome. And that is cool. So I'm going to go ahead and change the color of this to, let's use color meter, and let's give it opacity of 0.8 so that it will be somehow, it will fade away somehow. I'll give it one side of 20 now. When this icon container, when it is over them, okay, I want it to have, let's transform it. We're going to scale it to 1.2, and also we're going to give it a color. Let's change the color to text color, and also let's give it opacity of 1, which will make it again with full strength. Awesome. Now let's go ahead and create a button. Let's say BTN, and let's give it a padding top and bottom of 15 pixels and padding left and right of 25 pixels. And let's give it a border radius of let's say radius 2, and let's give it a font weight of 500, and then also let's give it a font size of 16 pixels, and a cursor pointer and a background of well, let's say BG 800, and let's give it transition and transition. Now let's say BPM over, and let's give it the color of let's say when it's being over, we give it the color primary accent, and let's also create the BTN primary. So then we can have this. I'm going to give it the background of let's give it this previous one, and also let's change the color of the text to color white. Now when this is over, when it's over, let's give it the background of transparent, and also let's give it the box shadow and there and preview there, and let's do color timeline. Awesome. Now I'm going to give this a color of bar. That's the color primary. Awesome. And this is cool, guys. Now what we're going to do next is we need to just create all the classes we're using. So let me just create this one. Let's say line class. Uh, let's say one. And let's display it to, let's say, tick box. and we're going to see what this box arrange. Okay, and we're going to do it particle and text overflow, and let's do the value, and let's do the overflow for reading, and let's see what is uh let's see line, let's use line plan, let's see one, and let's say line plan one. So I'm going to duplicate this. Let's duplicate, and we are going to change this to 4. So this one to 4. So later on, we're going to see how this class is being used and what it does. So next thing I'm going to create is the spotlight. Okay, we're going to position it to the absolute, and also let's give it a weight of let's see, although you can change this weight later on, but we're just giving it the default weight in night. Also, let's give it a background. And we are going to do it. And let's see, let's do the same thing, and let's do it. Okay, and so that already for picture. Let's see. Awesome. And also, let's see, filter, 50 people. And that is awesome.
So let's add a Z index of 1. Next, let's add the title class. So the subtitle, awesome. Now let's write some responsive code for the general styles. We will see the usefulness of this later on. So always create, and let's say large words of 100 pixel. Let's change the font size of the title to 40 pixel. Awesome. So let's copy this And let's come to here and paste. Okay, let's just write everything within here. Yeah, because let's just say, or let's just go back. Let's go back. I'm going to change this to something like let's say 600. Let's select the button and let's give it a font size of 12 pixels. Let's select the title. Let's give it a font size something like 30 pixels. And for the subtitle, let's give it a font size of 20 pixels. And that is all for the general styles. Now let's go ahead and style the navbar itself. Let's style this navbar. I'm going to create a new file within CSS folder. Let's call it main.css. So I'm going to close this for now and let's comment. Choose the file. Let's position it. And let's give it a Z index of 100. Let's change the background. So this is what we have here for the navbar, and for this to actually affect what we have on the screen, let's go ahead and add this main.css to our index.html file. So right here, let's link to it and see that okay. So as you can see how it looks like currently, and that is amazing, guys. That is awesome. So so the border radius is supposed to cut. Okay, so let's get in this to here. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. And let's start in the routes. So we're going to hide the menu button in the bigger screen. We'll only display it on a smaller screen. And let's start it in toggle. So let's start by giving it a display of less and align the items to the center. Also, the next thing we need to do is, let's see, low bar. Let's select the input and hide it. And we are going to give it some position. We're not going to use display load. We just want to hide it in all browser without it malfunctioning. If you use display hidden in some browsers, it might not work. Awesome. In fact, let me just have this. Okay. Let's select the sun. So let's come over here first and this is what we are styling. I'm going to give this a class name. So let's give this a class. Load. Also, let's return back. And so let's so what we're going to do is that we're going to swap it. I'm going to scale down to 0. And we are going to give them a transition. And also let's give them a color. Okay. So what I'm going to do here right now is I'm going to say that if the input, if it is not, let's say if it is not checked there, I'm going to do this. Select the icon container. Okay. Select the sun. Let's follow it. Scan it door. And next, if the input is checked, they are going to select the mode. And let's transform it to scan it to 1. Oh, sorry. So let's take a look at this. I think there's a mistake here, right here. Okay, seems to be working for right there. We can't see that because this is there. Okay, let me do this. Okay, the mistake here. So this is the so this is supposed to be icon container. Awesome. So look at it. Later on, we're going to create the functionality that will make you switch from light to dark. But right now, just focus on okay and this. So the rest we're going to do is, let's see. So we're going to use, let's say 700 pizza. And let's see, the map world should be 8. Let's use this. In launching this settings world. And the next thing we need to do is let's select the nav route. There it is. I'm going to display it here. Look. Next, we are going to select array, the menu, detail, select display to plus. Awesome. So this is what happens when on a smaller screen. This is how it looks like. But this is supposed to stay here. Okay. So what we're going to do right now is we need to add a logo. So the logo we're going to add is going to be added right here. Okay. We need to add a logo here. So I'm going to create a div. Let's do with the class of logo.
Okay, so the icon we're going to be adding here is right within our asset folder and within the icons. So we're going to be using this guy, which is logo.svg. So to add this, there are different ways to add it. We can either use image or we copy it and paste it into our HTML code. I don't want us to make use of image because we want to be able to modify the colors. And number two, I don't want to copy it and paste within this logo div. So if I copy it and paste, it's going to make the whole code look bulky and not well structured. So I'm going to be adding it dynamically, just the way these icons are added uh, uh, dynamically, right? So the way it's being added dynamically, let's implement such thing on our own. So to start doing that, let's first of all, let's come over here, and this is where we're going to write some JavaScript code that will be able to do that for us. So before I write the JavaScript code, first just create let's create something. So let's say I, and let me just say call it data dash custom icon. And you see, I invented this myself, all right? And we're going to be using this to find this data custom icon and then place the SVG within it. So I'm going to be giving it a name that is the same with the name of the file I want to add. So let me just give it logo as the name. All right, so now let's go and write some JavaScript code that we detect this and then place the SVG, this SVG file within it. So let's do that. So let me call it, let me comment, and let's call it custom SVG icon implementation. So the first thing I need to do is let's say data custom icon. So we're going to say the document dot query selector, or, and we're going to select our data custom icon. We selected all of them, so because we can use it more than once. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is let's loop through it. Let's loop through this by using for each, and I'm going to say icon here. Okay, so right here I'm going to say that if icon dot get, let's say, attribute, and let's pass the data custom icon here. Awesome. So if it is set, all right, then we're going to use XML to make requests, XML HTTP requests. That's what we want to do right now. So we're going to be requesting for the file. Okay, and I'm going to do this. Let's say request.open, we get it, and after the get, let me just do this here. Let's provide the URL of the file. So since this main.js file is executing in the index.html file, then it will be wise for us to trace the folder this way. We enter assets and we enter the icons folder. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to say plus, then we get the value, right? We get the value of this. Okay, now that we've got the value, let's plus the extension, which is .svg. Awesome. So let's keep going. So the next thing we're going to do is let's say the header. Let's say set request header, and let's specify the content type, which is this. And the next thing is let's add an event listener, the load event listener. All right. and we are going to get the event. And let's come over here. So we're going to say that if events.target status, we need to check if everything is right? So if it is equal to 200, it means it was fetched, the file was fetched successfully. And let's say const, and we're going to say response. Let's get the response text, and we're going to give the icon, and we're going to add the inner HTML will be equal to the response. And that is awesome. This is cool, guys. So this we did the job for us. And let me go ahead and refresh this and see what goes on here. Still, that logo has not been added yet. And we need to, let's take a look at this carefully and see what is going on. Okay, so let's come back here and let's take a look at this data custom icon. So we got the logo. Okay, awesome. Okay, so we need to finally send the request for this to work. So what we need to do right now is to send the request here. So let's say .send, and this will do the work. As you can see, it has got the logo and added it from here automatically. Look at it here. Awesome. So it got that logo and added for me. And also, if I provide any name of any other file here, it will get that file and add it for me. So for example, let's change this to another file. Let's say star. We have a file here called star. So let's say star. And SVG file. Okay. Okay. So look at it. Place the star within here. Awesome. So let's change it back to logo. So for this to work, you need to use this live preview. Don't just click on the HTML file and open it directly on the browser. Make use of the file preview extension that I showed you at the beginning of this tutorial, right? So um, make use of that. So let's go ahead and style this logo. I'm going to write the style for the logo inside index.css. This is because this is not the only place we're going to be having the logo. We're also going to be including it on the footer. So let me just write the style here so that it will affect both the one at the navbar and also in the footer. So let's say SVG. We'll give it a width of 2.5 rem and also a height of 2.5 rem. Awesome. Look at it. It makes sense, guys. That is cool. So we are done with that. And let's keep going. Next, let's go ahead and create the sidebar that will come out whenever we click on this menu icon. So for now, let me go ahead and let's squeeze this and let me come down here. And we are going to comment here. Let's call it sidebar start. And let's have the end here. So I'm going to create the sidebar using a side, and let's give it a class of sidebar. Okay. So within, let's create what is called the sidebar wrapper. And the next thing is, let's say flex center, and let's say the top, and let's add also a logo. You see, I'm adding a logo here again, which makes our writing the logo style in the index.css, it it makes sense that way, since we are adding another logo again in a different place. So I'm going to just say logo, and it will be added automatically. And next, let's create the cancel button. Let me just give it icon container, and I'm going to add a Lucid data Lucid icon here. All right, so let's just add X, and let's go ahead and give this guy an ID of let's see, close sidebar BTN. Awesome. So now that we have added that, let's come down to this place. So I'm going to say middle dot nav links, and within this we are going to output this. Let's just copy it here. We'll copy it, and let's go ahead and squeeze it back, and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so we're going to just change this from route to, we're going to change it to nav item. Okay, so I'm going to just select this one, and I'm going to click on Shift Command L to select all of them once. And okay, there's no need of doing this because it will also select the one at the top. I think you see it selected this one, so let's just change them by selecting this one. Let's use command D to be selecting them one after the other, and when we get to the last one we'll stop. So let's say nav item. Awesome. So let's save this, and we have all of this at the back of this our nav bar, and we need to style the sidebar so that it looks awesome. So let's come back here and let's comment sidebar start, and let's say sidebar end. So right here, let's write the code for the sidebar, and let's give it a top of 0, left of let's see 0 for now, yeah, 0, and let's give it a z index of 200 and a height of 0, and also let's give it a width, sorry, width of 100%, and let's give it some background. We want it to be somehow transparent, so let's use this, and let's see, make it blur of text with people, and next let's give it a transition, and let's give it overflow of hidden, and let's give it a sidebar. uh, let's style the the sidebar wrapper, and let's go ahead and style the let's see, we want to style the this part that contains the logo. So this top. So let's see sidebar and stop. So here we are just going to give it a justify content of space between. And the next thing we're going to do is let's see sidebar and let's give it nav item to display to block, and let's give it a padding of 10 pixels and a font size of 16 pixels and a font width of 500 and a cursor of pointer and a transition of bar transition. And let's see sidebar. Let's give it nav nav item on over. We need to change the color to color primary. Awesome. So if I let's say if I want this to display, all right, that's something I need to do. But let's first of all style. Okay, I think that is good for now. If I want this to display when menu button is clicked, the best way to do that is to write a JavaScript code that will help it display when this guy is being clicked. So I'm going to come here and we are going to write some code. So let's comment. Let's call it sidebar start sidebar end. So what we are going to do right now is that we are going to select the menu btn. So we're going to say documents dot, let's check our menu btn. So if you see here, you see we have the menu btn with this id. So let's say document dot get elements by id, and we are going to pass in the id, right? Next, we need to give the sidebar. Okay, sidebar. So we need to say document, and if you come over here, our sidebar has a class name of sidebar. So we're going to use query selector to get that. So we provide the class name, which is the sidebar. And the next thing we need to get is the close btn. So let's take a look at it. So the close btn, look at it here, and it has this id. So let's copy it and let's say document dot get element by id, and we're going to add that. So now I'm going to say that when the menu btn and click, when you click on it, it's going to be this way. It should it should use sidebar. We're going to say class list. We're going to toggle the class. Uh, what we're going to do is that we're going to have uh, it will add visible to the sidebar class, and also when the close btn is clicked and click, we are going to say sidebar dot class list. Here we're not going to toggle it, we're going to remove it entirely. So let's just change this to remove, and that is awesome. So let's see how this thing works. The next thing we need to do is let's come back to here and let's write that if we're going to say that if sidebar, if it has the class of visible, then we're going to give it a height of 100%. All right, so let's see how this works. So let's click here. You see it, and when we click here, close it. That is awesome, guys. And this is going to be working on a smaller screen. On a bigger screen, uh, we will not even have the button, the menu button displayed. All right, so it's only on a smaller screen that it will display and be able to use it to open the now the sidebar, right? Awesome. So I think we're done with the sidebar. Later on, we'll come and make this team button to work. All right, but for now, let's focus on creating other parts. Let's go ahead and create the header right now. So I'm going to click close this, and let's squeeze this one. Awesome. And also let's squeeze this, and we can now come here. So header section start. So let's create the header section right now using section to give it an ID of header. All right. So each section we're going to be creating must correspond with this uh, value of href we used. All right. Each of the ID of the section must correspond with this. And when we're creating a section, we're going to be using section tag to do that. So I'm also going to give this, let's just give it this class of BG secondary, and let's create the spotlight. Okay, and let's create a container, and within this container let's create a grid. Within the grid I'm going to create this div, and within this div I'm going to add an image. That's the me. Awesome. So this image is currently, look at it here in our asset folder. Look at the image here that we just added. So the next thing we need to do is to say user info. So within this user info, we're going to create uh, the subtitle. So within the subtitle, we already have the content we're going to be adding here in our content.md file. So the title, the subtitle is going to be this. So I'll copy it and paste it within. So after the subtitle, let's have each one, give its title. And the title itself is going to be front end developer. And next, we'll have the description. So we already have the description here. Let's just copy it and paste. Like I said, guys, when you download the asset file, the asset, you're going to see this content.md within the folder, so that you won't have to write everything from scratch. And after that, let's create a flex, and let's do it class of buttons. And right here, I'm going to create another container, and let's call it social. Let's say social handles. And within that, let's create this. Uh, you can copy and paste your social handles right here, but I'm not just going to do that. So let's add this target blank so that it will open on a new tab each time we click on it. So let's have icon container and let's call it handle. So within this, let's add the social media icon. So here I'm going to add, you see, when you check our icon folder, the icon we're going to be adding is not coming from Lucid icon. That is because those icons is not there, like Fiverr icon is not there. So I have an icon here called, look at it here. It's called Fiverr, that's SVG. So I'm going to just add that icon, okay, right here. Awesome. So what we're going to do next is let's go ahead and by the way, this doesn't look good at all. But let's come to the index.css and let's see where we created our paragraph. This is 25 pages supposed to be. Awesome. So look at how it looks and look at our Fiverr icon right there. So awesome. Now let's duplicate. All you just need to do is to add the link here, your Fiverr link over there. To click the add with that. So this one, let's change it to uh, GitHub. We also have the GitHub within our icons folder. Next, let's add LinkedIn. Next, let's add YouTube. So these are the four uh, social handles we're going to be adding. So after this, let's go ahead and come outside the view of social handles and let's create another. Let's create here. Let's create one contact. Let's say contact, so that when it then click, it will scroll to contact section. So let's say contact me. So this is going to be a button. So let's say BTN, and also let's add BTN primary to it. Awesome. So that is cool. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to come outside all of this and we need to create something. We're going to come outside the grid. Okay, but let's just do it within the grid. But what we're going to do later on is we're going to position what we're about to create to be somehow kind of absolute. So after this div, here is the div that ends the user info. So let's create points. So within this point, we are going to create a flex. And let's we're going to be using a library that is going to be transitioning the numbers, our numbers, and that uh, library is called odometer. So we're going to be making use of this soon. So I'm going to just create this and let's give it a subtitle. Okay, and that is cool. And I'm going to give this guy an ID of experience. Okay, and then just leave it the way it is currently. I'm going to create history and let's say it's title and then just say plus. Sorry, this is the title and let's come over here and let's create text related and let's say years of experience. Okay, so this is actually going to be the point, and let's create something here. Let's say point start and point end. So right here, I'm going to say this, and let's copy what we just have here. Let's copy this and let's move it into this div. So this div, let's give it a class of point. And we're going to be duplicating this and making changes to it. So I'm going to copy, I'll paste, and then I'll make changes. So the second one, let's give it an ID of project, and let's change this text. And let's see completed projects. Next, let's add this. So for this one, let's change it to something. Let's change it to awards, and let's go ahead and see awards. Awesome. Now let's paste again. So for this, we are going to change this one to clients. Clients. Okay. And let's add clients worldwide. Awesome. So we are going to be adding the numbers using odometer library. So what we need to do right now is let's go and grab a link to our odometer, right? So to do that, let's come to the browser and let's come here and open a new tab, and let's see odometer CDN. So let's go to CDN.js and click. So we're going to be copying this script tag. Let's copy it up here, and let's come to our projects at the top here. Let me just comment. Let's see, odometer CDN, and let's paste this. Also, we need to copy the odometer CSS. Okay, the default CSS file. So let's come over to this place, and let's search for the default CSS file so that we can include it. So this is it here. Go ahead and click here the themes, default theme, and we're going to copy it, and let's paste it after it. Awesome. So let's go back to our main.js. Get it here. So here in the main.js, let's write some code. First of all, let me comment. Let's see title start. Header end. And right here, let's select the odometer. And let's say query selector off. And let's say set timeout. And let's pass the callback function and the time it will take for the timeout to complete. And let's say let id equal to first of all, let's odometer. We're going to look through it using for each, and let's say list. Okay, so we're going to say let id equal to list.get attributes id.